All right, Larry Krueger here in the French Quarter in New Orleans on just a warm, humid day. We're on our way to LSU for LSU, Florida. It's going to be a hell of a game. Let's do our 49er update. Of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. All right, so what have we done so far here in the Big Easy? Well, we flew yesterday to New Orleans through Houston. We actually got recognized, I believe, by somebody in Houston.
Oh shit!
Look at that! Look at that! We got fans just, and this is not. You're not a plant. Tell me,
Dude,
this is not a plant.
Kevin, what's up, brother?
What's up? How are you?
This is fucking crazy,
Bang Bang
bro.
Niner gang
Yo,
right
bang,
here.
bang. What do you got a Patriots shirt on for?
Well, we're going to the LSU. We're just kind of screwing around today.
Yeah?
My sister's a Patriots fan, so she sent it to me.
J-Dog from Boston, man. I
Yeah.
watch this shit all the time.
Thanks,
bro.
man. Thanks, man.
Chapman, all you guys.
Now
man.
you're gonna be in the next video.
You're gonna be in the
Oh,
video.
shit.
You're gonna be in the
That's
video.
crazy, bro. Yo, peace and shout out to everybody, man. I love y'all, man. Yo, what I love about the group, bro, is I get like information, bro. Like boots on the ground, proofs at practice, training camp, all year round, the consistency, bro. It's like I'm from Boston, bro. Like I need inside shit, bro. I can't get all the access that y'all get in the Bay, and I get it from you, bro.
Damn, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
I appreciate
Thank
you, man.
Pig and a pickle. Have peace, bro.
Peace, man. Have a good one, J-Dog. So J-Dog in the house. We're down here in the quarter. We did not plant that. J-Dog, that was not a plant. Not a plant.
Not at all.
Not a plant. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Niner Nation on the road. People in town by a huge number getting ready to go to Saints Niners tomorrow. We're going to LSU, Florida tonight. All right, but let's talk a little bit about what we've done so far. That was, you got that right, Kev? You got all that? That was unbelievable. All right, so we landed in New Orleans late night. We got probably around 11 o'clock at night. Went to our Airbnb, dropped off our bags. Kev got the killer Airbnb. I mean, it's just awesome little Airbnb. We're like tucked away in some killer neighborhood. Love it. It's amazing. Air conditioning is great. Everything fantastic. Loving it. We were on the same flight, by the way, from SFO to Houston, and then from Houston to New Orleans as Grant Cohn. So I was thinking as that there was some turbulence, between Houston and New Orleans. I'm like, what if we go down and Niner content loses the Krug show, Kev, who's aids 9 different shows, including Mayoko, and Grant. I mean, 49er content creation, poof, up in smoke, but it didn't happen. It was just turbulence, and we all landed fine. But it was good to see Grant on the flight. So we dropped off our bags. Immediately we head down to the quarter. And, Kev's seeing the quarter for the first time. We're walking around. We're having a good time. It was a big, busy night on the quarter. We walked up and down the quarter, went and got some seafood dinner. Had some amazing shrimp at this place in the quarter. Just fantastic. Oceana, I believe it was. Oceana, really good seafood. Loved it. Had some oysters, had some shrimp. Enjoyed it quite a bit. Then we walked around the quarter. We go into Pat O'Brien's and take Kev to Pat O'Brien's for the first time. And it's hot too. It's like 85 degrees. You got the fountain going. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. We go into the piano bar. Who's there? Carlos Ramirez from NBC Sports Bay Area, who's going to be on the call in place of Pop. Pop, I'm drinking this weekend, not just for me. I'm drinking for me and for you. That's how I feel. So anyway, Pop, if you're watching this, we love you, brother. We hope you're back soon. And Carlos is filling in this weekend for Pop. And Mike Holler from KMBR, El Jefe Presidente at KMBR, we're sitting there in the piano bar. So we throw back some drinks with those guys. We're roaming around. We get some late night pizza that was I don't even know where it was from, but it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Get a ride back to our Airbnb. Called it a night, called it an early night, like probably around 3 a.m. because we got a big day today. We got a big day, so we had to call it an early night. So we get back to the rack around 3 a.m., which is an early night in New Orleans. I know that sounds late to you guys, but 3 a.m. here is like, dude, we got a couple more hours to go. I mean, this is a you go out at 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. kind of a place, at least for me. And we went home at 3, but you know what? We had to do it. Oh, also, by the way, we're here courtesy of Claudaddy Arcades. Thank you, Claudaddy Arcades. 2 locations opening this summer in Capitola Mall as well as Visalia Mall, and Claudaddy sent us here, funded this whole trip. Thank you, Claudaddy Arcades. He's a great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades to find a location near you. Also, Sleeper is sponsoring our season. We'll have more from them in just a second. But we want to tell you a little bit about Diana Rossini, the report. Diana Rossini is reporting, according to her sources, that the 49ers initially in the 21 draft, when they traded up into the top 3, wanted Mac Jones. All right, that's the talk, that they wanted Mac Jones. You know, all this revisionist history, you know, who cares what you want? It's what you did. You know, it's not, the coulda, woulda, shoulda game. You know, I mean, I love to think about the future and, like, you know, the draft and what's possible, but I don't spend a lot of time just thinking about the past and trying to, you know, litigate the past. I mean, they went for Trey Lance. It didn't work out. The fan base badly didn't want them to go for Mac Jones. They listened to their fan base. Was it Shanahan's call? Was it Lynch's call? Was it ownership's call? Who knows? Ultimately, it's on Shanahan. It didn't work out. That whole draft class didn't work out. Trevor Lawrence stinks. Zach Wilson stinks. Mac Jones has stunk. Trey Lance is barely in the NFL. The entire 21 draft class, Justin Fields is just now kind of figuring it out with the Jets. So it was a bad draft class. What can you say? But the Niners do have Mac Jones now, and we shall see. How good is Mac Jones going to be on this 49er team? Of course, there will be no George Kittle, and we don't know about the status of Trent Williams. He's a 50-50 game time decision for Trent Williams. Diana Rossini also reported that while she was watching the Green Bay game, an executive of another team told her, yeah, this Green Bay, this is how you build. This is how you build a championship, unlike San Francisco. I find that really comical, considering it's basically almost the exact same offensive system and a lot of the same game plan, which is go for a top-tier guy. The Niners spent their money on Bosa. They went and traded for Parsons and paid him a ton. And you can do that. You know, the difference isn't their plan. It's the execution of the picks. And while Gutekunst has been fantastic executing the picks, John Lynch, even though I love John Lynch, has not been nearly as good. In the 22 and 23 drafts, the 49ers only have 7 of the 18 players they drafted on the team still. And, you know, the Niners wasted day 1 and day 2 picks in 22 and 23. Wait for this list. Drake Jackson, Ty Davis-Price, Danny Gray, Jair Brown's still a TBD, and I like Jair Brown. I still have hope for him. Cam Latu and Jake Moody. That's day 1 and day 2 picks. You're getting nothing out of Drake, nothing out of TDP, nothing out of Danny Gray, nothing out of Latu, nothing out of Jake Moody. You've got Jair Brown to show for 6 picks in the first 2 rounds in the 22 and 23 drafts. That's why the 49ers have backslid. We can talk about the cap and Purdy and all this other garbage. You want to know, they'd be fine if they had hit on all those picks, but they didn't. They whiffed. And that's the point. Now, take a look at what Brian Gutekunst did in 22 and 23 by comparison. 22, Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt, Christian Watson, Sean Ryan, their starting guard, by the way, Romeo Doubs. That's 5 starting caliber guys in the 22 draft. He followed it up in 23 with Lucas Van Ness, Luke Musgrave, who's a terrific young tight end, Jaden Reed might be their number 1 receiver, Tucker Kraft, who's one of the best tight ends in football, Dontavion Wicks, Carl Brooks. Do you see what I'm saying? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 11 starters. 11 starters in 2 drafts for Gutekunst. And in the same window, the Niners have Jair Brown. That's the reason. It's not about some genius game plan. They have the same game plan. They have the same offense. They have a big time rusher making huge money. The difference is John Lynch was cold in 22 and 23, and Gutekunst is one of the hottest young GMs in the game. And yes, the Packers could make that Parsons trade because of those drafts, because they have so little tied up in the cap on 22 and 23 picks. All right, couple last thoughts before we get out of here. I don't want to blister John Lynch. I like John Lynch, but come on, man. Brian Gutekunst is out GMing John Lynch. All this talk about Shanahan this, Shanahan that, Shanahan this, Shanahan that. It's not about Shanahan. It's about, if Shanahan had a great young personnel guy, he would be winning Super Bowls regularly. His offense works. It produces points. You got to have players. Green Bay's got players. Gutekunst is not a Hall of Fame football player, is he? He wasn't a great broadcaster, was he? No, he was a scout. And then he was the assistant college football, college director. Then he's the head of college scouting. And then he worked his way up as a scout, proved his mettle, proved what he was. And now he's the GM and he's dominating. And that's why Green Bay's on top. It's not about their plan, it's about their GM and the picks that he's made. All right, couple last thoughts. Matt Mayoko had Kyle Shanahan on. He's sitting in doing the Papa fill-in TV work. And Shanahan talked about how they said bye-bye to Jake Moody. Let's hear that right here.
It got to the point where I didn't even feel like there was much of a choice. Always, there'll be games people struggle in, and I understand how fans are. I understand how my family is, anyone who watches it. I've been a part of games where, a quarterback throws 4 picks and everyone's like, you got to start the next guy. But, as a coaching staff and your team, you know how the next guy looks. You're in practice, I know that guy struggled with 4 picks, but he is better than this other guy. We got to figure out how to change something and not make him do that again. It's different at kicker. I'd love to sit and wait till, someone's for sure better. When you take a talented guy like Jake, I think he will be. He has been. But once a guy loses his confidence, or for whatever it is, the stands have lost their confidence, the team ends up thinking it's going to be a miss, not a make, and you start to see him like that, you really don't have a choice. You got to make a move, because you can't just sit there and bench him and let him get out of it. There is no backup. So I've been through this before in other teams. You always worry you're going to cut a good guy and you're going to go watch him be a Pro Bowler and somewhere else. But when it gets to where it was and the pressure's that much, where you're going out for an extra point and no one in the stands or no one on your sideline or himself is believing it's going to go in, you got to make that call and you got to move on.
Yeah. It's interesting that you're able to move on from your kicker, and the 4th most accurate field goal kicker in the history of the game is out there waiting for you. So what do you know about Eddie Piñeiro? Obviously, Brant Boyer knows him a little bit. So what's your thoughts on being able to bring a guy of that quality to the team?
Oh, I love having that. That's a hell of a stat when you talk about his accuracy and stuff. We had Robbie, who didn't always have the longest leg, but he was as accurate and the best kicker I've ever been a part of. So I think it always starts with accuracy. Then it goes to distance, but if you don't have that accuracy, there's no point in being out there.
Bottom line, if you have no confidence, you can't make it in the NFL as a kicker. Period. End of story. Good luck to Eddie Piñeiro. Eddie Dinero Piñeiro, hopefully. And lastly, Shanahan, talked a little bit about Marquise Siegel, and let's hear from Shanahan on Siegel, the great young safety of the Niners.
Marquise Siegel, who wasn't one of those first 5 defensive players drafted that people were talking about, drafted a little bit later, but man, he just, from training camp on, he's really opened eyes. What did you see from him?
No, exactly like that. He missed OTAs. Coming off a college injury, but since he's come back into training camp, he's jumped off the practice field. I think he did well in the preseason games, but we had a feeling about this guy from kind of the first week. We were hoping that he'd be that way, studying him at Kansas State. He came in, looked that way really early. It continued that way, and I was just hoping that he'd look that way in the game, and he did, which is a really good sign for the Niners.
Bottom line is, since day one, Siegel has been a stud. He's been really, really good. They loved him in the draft. I didn't know anything about him in the draft. Chased this from behind, never even heard of him in the whole draft process. Watched K-State, never noticed him. So they got one there for sure. Phenomenal draft pick. He can cover, he can hit, he's aggressive, he finds the football. I really love him. Just had, by the way, a killer breakfast. An unbelievable breakfast. We're standing outside this place right now. It's called Waken Bacon. It's at 900 Dumaine Street. 900 Dumaine Street here in New Orleans in the Quarter. Just had biscuits and gravy and sausage or bacon and eggs with the best homemade OJ I've had in a long, long time. And before we get out of here, here's a word from Sleeper. A little break in the content to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper. 49er football on the Krueger Show this season is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and of course, Sleeper picks for daily fantasy, where you choose 2 to 8 players pregame or live and pick more or less on their projections. And if you're new to it, use promo code Larry and you'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100 on your first deposit. The link is right there in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, thanks to Sleeper for sponsoring the Krug Show, and we're here in New Orleans for the rest of the week. Go Niners. They're going to get the win on Sunday. We're going to go check out LSU in Florida. Have a great Saturday. Thanks for watching the Krug Show on YouTube. All right, Krug Show fans. Well, this is a little bonus content. I can't even tell you how great this feels. These are beignets from Cafe Du Monde. It was cash only, so we only had a 5 on us, so we didn't even get water. So I'm going beignets, no water, no milk, no nothing. And they look amazing. There's 3 of them in here. And I was told that this is the way to do it, okay? You go like this. You shake it up. Shake it up. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake it, make sure you shake it. Shake it up, shake it up.
Let's see what it looks like.
It's gonna be amazing. You wanna take a look at this? Okay.
Pig in a pickle!
Pig in a pickle! Look at that, look at that. Krug Show fans, Krug Show Nation. Look at that, we're getting heckled on the street. All right, here we go. Kev, I will give you one. You can.
Wait, you take it first.
All right, here we go. Look at this thing. It's covered in powdered sugar. It's hot as shit. Mmm. Oh yeah. Oh. Amazing. Hot. Soft. Amazing. Mmm. Mmm. All right, this is bonus coverage. Kev eating his beignet.
This thing's hot.
It's hot. It's hot. Not stolen, but hot. Hot. How is it? Oh, look at that thing. Buttery, huh? Look at this view, by the way. Look at this view.
There's only one of those.
Look at this, 360. Look, we're at Disneyland right now. It's unbelievable.
ESPN set Super Bowl.
This was the ESPN Super Bowl set. What do you think, Kev?
I don't really like donuts, but I like this.
You're not a donut guy, but you love the beignet. Unbelievable.